Hey guys, welcome to a special episode of Hangs with Rog. Today we're going to talk about the news that we got about the Nintendo Switch. We got price, tech specs, and video games that have been announced for it. So get excited! So on today's episode I have Nathan who's going to help me out. Hey Nath!
Hey man, what's going on?
Not too much man, how are you?
Got a lot going on, man.
So let's get right into it. So first of all, they told us what the release date was going to be, March the 3rd, and then they told us the US price, which is going to be $299, and then we found out just before that it's going to be, what was it, $469 in Australia?
Yep, that's rubbish.
Yeah.
That's pretty expensive, man. I was hoping it would be slightly cheaper. Look, I'm the guy who's going to get it anyway, but I was hoping it would be a little cheaper.
Yeah, no, me too. Well,
I really would have loved that $399. I would have cried with joy, but I mean, it is what it is, really. I mean, at the end of the day, Nintendo's popular enough that people will buy it, so long as they know what it is and it's not a Wii U. So,
do you think it's going to hurt it?
the price?
Yeah, I know, like, you and I have already pre-ordered it, but how many people do you think are going to do the same thing after seeing a $469 price tag?
I think it's all going to do with the launch title. So they've got a bunch of games coming out for it, which we'll go over in detail a little later. Obviously one of the big ones being Zelda, which is exciting. But one of the big issues that they had with the Wii U was the way that they marketed the product.
Yeah.
And the fact that when it released, you couldn't play anything on it. Like, there was nothing. I think you had like a handful of games and all first party, nothing third party or anything like that. And then you started getting third party things, and it just ended up being the thing where everybody just dropped it because nobody would buy it.
But I'm looking here, I just looked up on EB Games, you can buy the new PlayStation 4 that's just been announced, the Glacier 1, for $439, which is
$439
a more powerful console, and the Switch is going to come out at $469.
Man.
So that's the thing that
And
worries
Nintendo's
me.
notorious for keeping their things expensive as well.
Yeah.
It's not something that's going to go into like, oh, it's on special now, I mean,
Yeah.
The other day, what was it? Not the other day, a few weeks ago, Xbox had a special for the One S with the 1 terabyte console, 3 games, 1 digital game, and a 4K movie on EB Games' website. And that was, I think even that was still under $400. Like, they can get away with something like that, whereas I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah, that's the thing that worries me. To be honest, if I didn't see the Master Edition of Breath of the Wild, I don't think I would have pre-ordered it today. I could have waited till my birthday.
I'm exactly the same.
Yep, there it is. So it's 500 gig Xbox One S plus 1 game plus 1 4K UHD Blu-ray for $399.
Yeah, and that's
At
not the
the
best one they
moment.
had. They had one that was slightly better than that, but it's like a 1-day flash sale.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go. That's gonna
It worries me a little bit. I think it's a lot of people like myself with the fanatics who know they're going to get it. They're going to be relying on that a lot.
Yeah. We'll
But
see how
it
goes,
really, hopefully they keep up to the hype and they take advantage of that.
The next thing they talked about was the battery life of the console when you take it on the go. They said depending on which game you're playing, it'll range between 2.5 hours and 6.5 hours. What do you think of that?
Did they say anything about increasing the battery life? Because on the Wii U gamepad's battery life was horrid. It's bad.
Yeah.
But Nintendo released a larger battery pack, and you could get third-party things for it as well to increase the battery life. Because 6 hours is good.
Yeah.
6 hours is good. 6 hours is, a nice
I'd be happy
train
with
ride
that.
up to the city and back. 6 hours is going to your friend's house and playing for a decent chunk of time.
Yeah,
But 2 hours? If I knew...
I'm thinking, some of the bigger games like
Zelda, Skyrim.
Zelda will be 2 hours.
Skyrim even.
Skyrim.
But see, even I was considering getting Skyrim on the Wii U because I was like, I don't have the time to sit down and play it while I'm here.
Yeah, I'm thinking 6 hours will be the virtual console games. That's what I reckon.
It worries me a little bit. That was one thing that I really felt they needed to knock out of the park, and it's okay, but they didn't knock it out of the park.
In saying that, how often are you going to use it, like, outside on the train or whatever?
That's true. I hardly ever see myself moving it anywhere from my bedroom out of the house. I only see myself really moving it from my bedroom to yours, really. I mean, that's me. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to use the Switch for all it's worth. There's going to be people who are going to be using it on the train, all that kind of stuff.
The next thing was they confirmed that the screen is in fact a touch screen.
Yes.
We weren't sure from the announcement trailer.
It was rumoured, and now it's been confirmed. And, which we were talking about just before the show started, it's a capacitive touchscreen. Nintendo is finally moving forward without these silly styluses. So you're going to be able to use your finger for it. Hopefully it's going to be really, really responsive.
Couldn't you use your fingers before though?
You could, but it wasn't great. You had to like sort of get your nail onto the screen. It was like your 3DS. You can use your finger for your 3DS, but that's why they had the stylus, because the stylus was better.
So it'll be, as
very similar
good
to
as
something
your,
like this.
your
You'd hope it
iPad
would be
or
something
your
like
phone.
an iPad.
Yeah.
And the screen resolution for the controller is 720p.
Okay.
And when it's docked, it'll be playing at 900p.
Yeah.
So not quite 1080. Which, for me, I don't really care.
No.
The Switch will have 32 gigabytes of storage. Another thing that could potentially be controversial, but it depends on how they do it, really.
You can use SD cards on that. I'm pretty
SD
sure.
cards? As expandable storage?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's in the article that you have in front of you, actually.
You can expand storage
Micro
SD. Yep. Can you expand it with USB? Looks like you can. It doesn't have an Ethernet port built in. You have to get an Ethernet adapter.
Oh, you're kidding.
And that plugs into the dock. Wireless internet's 802.11ac. Up to stand. It's the new ones.
Yeah. The next thing is what you wanted to talk about, which is the Joy-Con.
Yes. Very cool pieces of technology. They're obviously have their modular controller sets, so you're going to be able to click them onto the dock, take the dock away and do whatever you want with it, click it back on. They've talked about 3 main settings for the console. You're going to have your main one where it's at home, docked, sitting at 900p, going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you click the Joy-Cons into the controller, you run around and use it like a handheld.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course it has the kickstand. So you can put the kickstand up and play like normal.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of technology jammed into these Joy-Cons that I was reading about earlier. So when you dock them, you can obviously use one each, and they're really weird. They're really weird. They look to hold. I don't know if that would be comfortable. You know, when you're holding one instead of holding 2.
Yeah.
If I'm holding 2, I feel like I'd be fine with that. But if I put up the kickstand and we were playing Mario Kart 1 and 1 with the Joy-Cons, I don't know how comfortable that'll be. I feel like it's probably something you get used to. And from what I can see here, scrolling down this article, you can buy a bumper or something that goes over the top.
Oh.
So it makes it more comfortable. And if you look in the side here, you've got the left and right buttons. So your left and right buttons are in there, your fingers touch them, and you can get the bumper that goes over the top.
Yeah, cool.
Built in is obviously rumble. HD rumble is what they're calling it. This is precise enough to feel the different numbers of ice cubes falling into a glass.
Yeah, I read that before.
It's a weird way to phrase it.
Yeah.
The right Joy-Con controller has an IR camera. It determines the shapes and distance of objects.
Wow.
What are they going to use that for? Both of them have motion sensors in it, so accelerometers and gyroscopes.
The next thing was so you can connect up to 8 switches.
Which is exactly the same as the Nintendo DS consoles. You can play with 8 people locally on a Nintendo DS, depending on what game you have. Very simple to connect 2 and 2. That means that when you're out and about, you're going to be able to use it as well, especially when they show things like people in the car driving.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you personal hotspot 2, which they would have shown, because they were trying to be very clear about what it can do.
That reduces your battery life to half an hour.
Man.
Like, surely that's going to chew through your battery. Like,
Try and send to 8 people. That's when you're going to get 2 hours.
That's it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please join us for part 2 of the Nintendo Switch special, where we talk more about the video games that were announced for it. See you soon.